welcome to or back to Oh My Bookishness. Today we're trying something a little bit different, not video wise, we're doing the same thing we usually do, me rambling about nonsense, but I've got a camera today instead of my phone. I mean, whoa, I'm holding my phone and on film, crazy. So I purchased a camera. It's a very cheap camera, and I don't think it's going to work super well, but we're gonna do one video with it anyways, just to see, just so I can have done something with it and it wasn't a complete waste of money. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm trying to speak a little bit louder than normal because so far what I've recorded with the camera, sound is not great. So we'll see. We'll see. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of talking about what I've been reading lately, and then a quick Christmas / Barnes and Noble book haul. So I've been seeing everybody else do their, because Barnes and Noble recently had a 50% off all hardcovers sale. I went to that because I had a little bit of Christmas money from my grandparents. Quite a bit of Christmas money, actually. I got some good books. So thank you, Grandma and Grandpa, for the Christmas money. You don't know I have a YouTube channel, but whatever. But then I'll also show you the books I got for Christmas. So before we get into that, as usual, I'd like to show you what I've been reading recently. One that I just finished, and I listened to this as an audiobook actually, is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. Yeah, this is really good. It's a Christmas Carol retelling about a girl named Holly Chase who is a Scrooge, basically. She's only 16, but she's Ebenezer Scrooge. She's mean to everybody. She's, not generous. She's mean to her staff, and she's just an awful teenage girl. And so Christmas Eve one year, she gets visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, and they're like, hey, if you don't change your ways, you're gonna die soon, and that's not gonna be good. And guess what? She dies, and so she becomes the ghost of Christmas past and starts working for the company that arranges these Christmas Eve hauntings, and the company is called Project Scrooge. And so every year they pick a new Scrooge, and they try to get them to change their ways before it's too late. So it's about her working as the ghost of Christmas past on their latest Scrooge, who happens to be a 17-year-old young man who's very handsome and all of that. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It wasn't so much a Christmassy read. There was Christmas elements to it, but it was a decent Christmas read. This one had some Christmassy stuff in it, but it does take place over the course of a whole year, so it's not just Christmas. And then the book I'm currently reading is, what's it called? The Battle of the Labyrinth, which is one of the Percy Jackson series books. It's the fourth one in the series. And believe it or not, before this year I had never read any of the Percy Jackson books, and so I've been reading those. It's very, I didn't read these as a kid, but they're somehow nostalgic for me because it's like a quest kind of thing. I don't read a lot of books with just straight up quests in them, anymore. It's more like, oh, we've got to, take over the kingdom, we've got to do all this magic, there's romance, and blah, 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 blah. So I've missed a good, just quest book, some kids on a quest, gonna save the world. We do that every year. It's fine. It kind of reminds me of Artemis Fowl. It's every book, not every book they're saving the world, but every book they're doing a big, it's high stakes, but then there's also a lot of humor in it, and so very much enjoying this. Let me show you the books I got for Christmas, and also, I don't think you'll be able to see it very well, but I got this, you can kind of see it, I can't remember what they're called, lithograph, I think, shirt of Scarlet, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. My mom got it for me for Christmas. She had, many years ago, given me the one for Cinder, and it was a little bit small, and so she got me a large. And this one, it's a weird material. It's like silky, super cute. It's got, if you don't know what lithographs are, they're like pictures made up entirely out of the text from the story. So these are all like little words from the book on here. Pretty cool. So thank you, Mom. And then for books that I got as Christmas presents, the first one, which is another one that I'm reading right now, is this book of Celtic Tales. My coworker gave me this one. And she does watch this channel, so hello, coworker, and thank you again for this. This is beautiful. It's illustrated, and like these are textured, which I really like. But yeah, it's really cool. I'm reading like one story every night as a bedtime story to myself and my cat, and I've never heard any of these stories before, and I like that they're like a little bit different from other fables and fairy tales that I've read before. It's not always a moral story. It's like there's not always oh, if you're a good person, everything will be happily ever after. A lot of times it's like trickery. It's like, I bet we can trick this person into doing what we want, and then we'll get what we want, and everybody will live happily ever after. And that's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun change of pace. Okay, sorry if the lighting or the angle has changed. My camera died and it is a few hours later. So, where were we? The second book that I got for Christmas was this Wildflowers of the Midwest, like pocket guide thing my brother gave me. And it's really cool because it kind of categorizes things by color. So it's got like the yellow section, and you can just go to this yellow tab, and it has the yellow flowers. So that's pretty handy. I'm always wondering about local flowers and what they are and everything. Love flowers, so this is very nice. And then the third book that I actually got for Christmas is a graphic novel for Captain Marvel. It's Captain Marvel and the Carol Corps, or Carol Corps? I don't know. I don't actually know what this is about. It's part of the Secret Wars invasion, Secret Wars, which I think has to do with the Skrull, who are the shape-shifting aliens in the Marvel Universe. I'm pretty sure it has to do with that because Captain Marvel is, at least in the movie, she is dealing with the Skrull, but then I believe the Secret Wars also has to do with the Skrull. I'm not sure. I'm not super up to date on that, so I will enjoy reading this. Captain Marvel is one of my favorites, so that'll be fun. Oh, my cat is approaching. There she is. Do you want to say hello to the people? It's a baby. Everyone say hello to Elinor. Elinor says hello back. Meow. Okay, bye Elinor. So those are the ones that that other people gave me for Christmas, and then like I said, my grandparents gave me a nice little chunk of money for Christmas as well. And then conveniently that same day, Barnes & Noble had started a sale on 50% off all their hardcovers. So you know I had to go to Barnes & Noble. Let me show you what I got from Barnes & Noble. So we'll start with the one that wasn't actually on sale, and that's Kiki's Delivery Service. I got the paperback of that one. It's so cute. If you look up the old cover for Kiki's Delivery Service, it is so special. The old cover is so special. It's something. You look it up, and then compare it to this. And this one might be a little bit. The old one has charm to it. It's got that. It looks like a book that I would just devour as a child and be. I'd probably be disappointed, honestly, based off of the cover. The cover makes it look a little bit more like it's going to be adventure questy, and then this one I feel like captures the actual vibe of the book a little bit better. which is so similar to the movie. There's a little bit. Hi, Elinor. There's a little bit more. There's more filler chapter in this than there is in the movie. There's a lady who knits a whole lot. She knits tummy warmers. They're like bands that you put around your tummy to warm them. And Kiki helps her out. But it's such a delightful read. If you watch the movie and you like the movie as much as I do, then this one is a must read. Very similar to the movie, but with enough differences to keep you interested. Hi, Elinor. Unlike Howl's Moving Castle, which is an amazing book and an amazing movie, but they're really not that similar at all. This is a great book that is actually pretty similar to the movie as far as I remember, but I wanted to own a copy of that, so I picked that up while I was there and had Christmas money. I forgot to mention this copy also has illustrations, so that's fun. Okay, and then this one, normally I don't buy the sequel to a book unless I've actually read the book first, and know that I like that book, because I don't need a whole bunch of books lying around that I don't like. Hi, Elinor. But I haven't read the first one to this yet, but I bought the hardcover anyways, mostly because they were like running out of hardcovers when I got there, which is crazy. But I feel like I'm going to like the first one, so we'll see. But that was Our Violent Ends by Chloe Gong, and the first one is These Violent Delights, and this is a retelling of, hi Elinor, Romeo and Juliet set in, I think, 1930s Shanghai, and it sounds awesome, and I'm excited to read both of these. What are you doing? Elinor has decided to sit behind me. What are you doing, my dear? Come on. Okay, and it really was all hardcovers that were on sale. So I was able to get a couple of like fancy classics. So I got the Blue Fairy book by Andrew Lang, and it's just a lovely like gilded edge. Look at the back, there's a dragon, fairies, the spine is pretty, and these are just fairy tales, and it's illustrated too. Let me find a good illustration. It's a girl riding a bear. Maybe it's a boy, I don't know. There's a person riding a bear. Very cool. I love fairy tales, and I love pretty books, so I had to get fairy pretty book. Then I got this one, Road of the Lost, which I've never heard of before. When I go to Barnes & Noble, I always like to get one that I have never heard of before. Just because when I was a kid, I used to get like a whole bunch of Barnes & Noble gift cards for birthdays and Christmas and stuff, and then my mom would drive me to the mall, and I'd just be unleashed in Barnes & Noble and come out with a stack of books, and I wouldn't know what any of them were about because I didn't have social media at that point. I knew nothing about what I was getting into, but I loved those books, and I loved that time. So I always look for a book that I've never heard of, which is getting increasingly difficult as I am consumed with bookish social media, and I work in 2 different libraries, and all of my friends, the majority of my friends like reading as well. So it's hard to find a book that I've never heard of before, but I'd never heard of this one. From what I can remember, this one is about a girl who is a brownie, which is a type of fae creature, and then she goes on a quest, I think, or something like that, and then she finds out that maybe she's not actually a brownie. I don't know. But it sounded really good. I think it's a standalone, which is great. So I will let you know what I think of that one. I'll probably review it on my blog once I get a chance to read it. But like, look at that cover. Look at it. Wow. So those are the fairy books that I got. And then I got 2 other books while I was at Barnes & Noble. The first one being Robin Hood, and this is the version by Howard Pyle, which I've read before. Our library had a copy, not this beautiful of a copy, but when I was a kid, our library had an old beaten up copy of Robin Hood, and yeah, it's just, this is so pretty. And the story is really fun until the end. But the story is really fun. Love Robin Hood. I've always loved the story of Robin Hood and like archery and living in a forest, except for now I would never want to live in a forest because there's bugs. And when I was a kid, Robin Hood was amazing. And if you keep up with other videos on this channel, and you watched me do a dramatic reading of the fairy tale time book that I wrote in the 8th grade, the main character in that, Jeff, he is obsessed with the story of Robin Hood. And this is kind of like what I imagine his copy of Robin Hood looks like, except for maybe it's like really worn because he's read it a whole bunch and everything. And so that's kind of just a silly little thing too. So that's super pretty. And I love that the gilded edges are like a copper color instead of gold or silver. And I think it goes really well with Robin Hood, especially because my favorite Robin Hood movie of all time is the Disney one, and he's a fox in that, so like the copper color works really nicely. And then the last book I got is actually a Robin Hood retelling. This one I've been super excited about. It's called Travelers Along the Way, and I've been super excited about it since I first heard about it. It's a Robin Hood retelling, but it takes place in the Middle East during the Crusades. So if you don't know a lot about Robin Hood, Robin Hood takes place during the Crusades as well. King Richard is gone, Prince John is on the throne, being terrible. Robin Hood tries to kind of like take care of England while, you know, King Richard's away and everything. And obviously the history is not as simple as that because the Crusades were a horrible thing, horrible event in history, and obviously this is written from a perspective that kind of glorifies like, oh, King Richard's away doing the Lord's work, when in reality the Lord would not tell you to go kill a whole bunch of people because they got the same religion as you. So anyways, off of my soapbox for a moment. But so it takes place at the time of the Crusades. This one takes place at the time of the Crusades as well, but the characters are Middle Eastern, so they live in the place that is being invaded by the Crusaders. And again, my memory going, but I believe the main character is a teenage girl who's Middle Eastern, and she kind of is like a Robin Hood, protecting her people from the Crusaders, which sounds just so cool. And I think she's got like a band of not merry men, but like merry youths. I don't know, but it sounds so cool. So I just double checked, and it takes place in Jerusalem, which is, you know, where the Crusades were kind of centered around. And she has like a crew of, I think they've got a picture of her crew on the back, but she's got her crew of folks, and yeah, I'm just so excited for this one. I love a Robin Hood retelling, and this just sounds so cool, so I will let you know how that one goes. And that was my Christmas / Barnes & Noble book haul. Just a couple of other like housekeeping notes before I sign off for the day. One thing is, in my last video, which was the Lit Joy Crate unboxing, I said something about they might be sending a free second copy of the book because it didn't have
the exact, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
I can't think of the word, but like the things that make it a different edition, the
specifications, uniqueifier, you know, like the gilded edges or whatever. So it didn't have those things.
Alterations. That's the word I'm looking for. I didn't have the one that they sent out didn't have the alterations that they were originally going to send with it, and then I thought I remembered seeing an email that they were going to send a second copy that wasn't signed, but it had those alterations to it. But now I can't find that email anywhere, and C.H.A.T.R has completely changed how they do their teen subscription box. Don't mind my cat running around. Anyways, they've completely changed how they do their teen subscription box. It doesn't exist how it used to anymore. So I don't know if, hi Elinor, if they're actually going to send that book out or not. If I completely imagine that email. Like I said, I can't find that email anywhere. So I apologize if I misled anyone with that information. I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. I just got an email from C.H.A.T.R that says that I'm no longer a subscriber of them, which is fine because I wasn't going to subscribe to them anymore really anyways. But I was also like, okay, but what does that mean for the other copy of the book? Was there ever going to be another copy of the book, or did my brain just completely invent that? So I will let you know if and when I have answers to that. So again, I apologize if I provided any misleading information on that front. Okay, one last little thing before I sign off. Look at this, my favorite Christmas decoration. I don't know if I've shown it on this channel before. It's a little bookshop. I don't know if it's blurry or not. This camera is hard to use. But it's a little bookshop. Hi, Elinor. It glows and like it plugs in with your Christmas tree lights. But it's just so cute, and I wanted to show you, and I better go see what Elinor is screaming out. So, bye!